In 6 years, the United States government may not be able to pay your Social Security check in full. Not because of a recession, not because of a war, because the math has been broken for decades, and almost nobody is talking about what this actually means for your wallet, in real dollars. Whether you're 32 or 62, whether retirement feels far away or it's 3 years out, this affects you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's coming, who gets hit hardest, and what to do about it. And these are moves that most financial advisors aren't telling their own clients. Let's get into it. But first, let me ask you something. Do you know exactly how much Social Security you'll actually receive? Most people don't, and that's not your fault. The system is genuinely designed to be hard to understand. But here's the problem. If you don't understand it, you can't plan for it. And if you can't plan for it, the number coming in 2032 will blindside you completely. So let's fix that. From the beginning, let's start with what Social Security actually is. Most people think they know, but the details matter more than you'd think. Social Security is not a savings account. I want you to hear that clearly. When money is taken from your paycheck every month under the label FICA, that money does not go into a box with your name on it. It goes directly to pay the people who are retired right now, today. You are paying for your parents' generation, and when you retire, the people working at that time will pay for you. The whole system runs on one simple assumption. There will always be enough working people to fund the retirees. That assumption is now in serious trouble. Here's the math that explains everything. In 1950, there were 16.5 working Americans for every single retiree, 16 workers funding one person's check. The system was flush with money. There was no crisis. By 1960, that number dropped to 5.1 workers per retiree. Still manageable. The system still worked. By the time most of you were born, it was around 3.3 workers per retiree. Getting tighter. Today, that number sits at just 2.8 workers per retiree. And by 2040, it's projected to fall to 2.1. Think about what that means. 2 workers will have to fund what 16 workers used to cover. The money coming in is shrinking, the money going out is growing, and the gap between those two lines, that's the crisis. Now, the government knew this problem was coming. So back in the 1980s, they built a safety net inside the system. It's called the trust fund. For decades, when Social Security collected more than it paid out, the extra money was invested and held in reserve. At its peak, the trust fund held nearly $3 trillion. That fund has been the buffer keeping the system alive. But since 2021, Social Security has been paying out more than it collects. Every single year, the fund gets smaller. And the Social Security Administration's own trustees, the people whose job it is to watch this money, published a report. That report says the trust fund will be completely empty by 2032, not 2050, not 2040, 6 years from now. And here's what almost nobody explains clearly. When the fund runs out, Social Security doesn't disappear overnight. Once the trust fund hits zero, the system doesn't shut down. It can only pay what comes in from payroll taxes in real time. And current projections show that real-time revenue would cover only about 77 cents of every dollar retirees are owed. Which means, without any action from Congress, benefits get cut by 23%, automatically, by law, not as a choice, as a mathematical necessity. The law actually requires it. This is not a political opinion. It's in the statute. Now let's put real numbers on this, because 23% cut sounds like a statistic, until it's your money. Today, the average Social Security retirement check is about $2,071 per month. A 23% cut brings that down to roughly $1,595 per month. That's $476 less, every single month. Gone. Not because you did anything wrong. Over a full year, that's more than $5,700. Just gone. For a married couple where both partners receive benefits, the annual loss jumps to over $18,000. $18,000 a year. Gone. Not because of bad investments, not because of bad decisions, because the system ran out of runway, and most people planning their retirement right now have no idea this number exists. Now, if you're in your 30s or 40s, you might be thinking, this is a retiree problem. I have time. I'll figure it out later. That thinking is exactly what makes this dangerous, because 2032 doesn't just affect people who are already retired. It affects every calculation you're making right now, every number you have in your head for retirement. Before we continue, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Every like and subscribe matters and helps us to grow. If your plan assumes a full Social Security check, and most plans do, your plan is built on a number that may not exist. According to analysis from the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, someone born in the early 1970s, what we call Gen the 10th, would need to save an additional $701 every single month, starting now, just to compensate for a 23% cut. $701 per month. That's a second car payment. That's nearly 2 months of groceries. And most people in that age bracket have never been told this calculation exists. Nobody ran those numbers for them. Now, before you start catastrophizing, I want you to stay with me. Because there are 2 things I haven't told you yet. First, Congress has fixed Social Security before. It has happened. There are real policy tools on the table right now. And second, there are concrete steps you can take regardless of what Congress does. Steps that protect you either way. But to understand those steps, you need to understand one more layer of this system. And this is the part nobody talks about. So stay with me. Because what comes next is where most people lose thousands of dollars they didn't know they were losing. Let's talk about something called the COLA Catch-22. COLA stands for Cost of Living Adjustment. Every year, Social Security benefits go up by a small percentage to keep pace with inflation. And on the news, it always sounds like great news. In 2026, benefits went up by 2.8%. The average retiree received about $56 more per month. What the headline doesn't tell you: Medicare Part B premiums also went up by $17.90 per month. And since Medicare premiums are automatically deducted from your Social Security check, here's what retirees actually received. Not $56, $38.10. That's the number that actually landed in their bank account. Almost nobody reported that. The COLA win was real, but it was quietly cut in half before it arrived. Now here's something that surprises almost everyone. Your Social Security benefit is not just based on how long you worked. It's based on your 35 highest earning years, adjusted for wage inflation. 35 years. That number matters. If you only worked for 30 years, the calculation fills the remaining 5 years with zeros, actual zeros, in your average. Taking a few years off, to raise children, to care for a sick parent, to go back to school, can permanently reduce your benefit. Every 0 year drags your average down, and women are disproportionately affected. They are statistically more likely to have taken time out of the workforce. Now let's talk about the claiming age decision. This is one of the most consequential choices most Americans make, and one of the least understood. You can start claiming Social Security as early as age 62. Many people do, because they don't know what it costs them. If you claim at 62, your benefit is permanently reduced by as much as 30% compared to waiting until your full retirement age. Your full retirement age is 67 if you were born in 1960 or later. That's the baseline the whole system is built around. But here's what most people never find out. If you wait until age 70, your benefit grows by 8% for every year you delay past 67. 8%, guaranteed, for every year you wait. No investment on earth reliably matches that return. The difference between claiming at 62 versus waiting until 70 can mean more than 75% higher monthly income for the rest of your life. Over a 20-year retirement, that difference compounds to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Most people claim early because they don't know this math exists, and once you claim, you cannot go back. Now, let me show you one more trap. It's called the earnings test, and it catches thousands of people every single year. If you claim Social Security before your full retirement age, and you're still working, the government reduces your benefits based on your income. In 2026, earn more than $24,480 per year, and they withhold $1 for every 2 you earn above that. So if you're 64, still working, and started claiming early to get more money, you may actually be receiving less than if you'd waited. Completely legal. Okay, you now know things that most Americans, including most people planning their retirement right now, genuinely do not know. Now let's talk about what you can actually do. I'm going to break this down by where you are in life. Because the right move at 35 is very different from the right move at 60. If you're under 45, here is the single most important thing I'll say in this entire video. Listen carefully. Stop building your retirement plan around Social Security as if it will be exactly what it is today. Use it as a bonus, not a foundation. Your target retirement number should be achievable through your own savings alone. Social Security should be gravy on top, not the plate. Second move for under 45. Open your Social Security statement right now. Go to ssa.gov. Create a free account. It takes 10 minutes. You will see your projected benefit based on your actual earnings history, and you'll immediately see if any 0 years are dragging your average down. Third, if you have a 401k at work, check the expense ratio on your investment funds. Today, not this week, today. Even a 1% fee difference in your 401k compounds to 6 figures over 30 years. Most people have never looked at this number. If your expense ratio is above 0.5%, better options are almost certainly available. Ask your HR department specifically about lower-cost index funds. Now, if you're between 45 and 60, the window is still open, but your moves need to be more deliberate. Here's what matters most. First, run your claiming age math. There are free calculators at ssa.gov that show you the exact break-even point between claiming early versus waiting. For most people in good health, waiting until at least 67, and ideally 70, is the mathematically superior decision. Not emotionally, mathematically. Health, spousal benefits, and cash flow needs all factor in, which is why running your specific numbers matters, not generic advice. Second move for 45 to 60. Maximize your catch-up contributions. If you're over 50, the IRS allows an extra $1,100 per year into your IRA in 2026 for a total of $8,600. That extra contribution, invested over 15 years, compounds into a meaningful buffer against whatever Congress does or doesn't do. Third, if you have a traditional IRA or 401k, talk to a fee-only financial advisor about Roth conversion strategy. Converting some of that pre-tax money to Roth now, while you control the tax rate, protects you from a surprise tax bill at age 73. That surprise bill is called a required minimum distribution. At 73, the IRS forces you to withdraw money, whether you need it or not, and you pay taxes on all of it. Now, if you're 60 or older, or already retired, here is what actually matters right now. 3 moves, each one specific. First, do not claim Social Security before you have carefully modeled the numbers. If you're in good health and can cover expenses a few more years, wait. Every year you delay past 67 adds 8% permanently to your monthly benefit. That 8% is a guaranteed return. Nothing else matches it. Second, understand your Medicare options before you turn 65. The plan you choose at first enrollment affects your costs for life in ways that are very hard to undo. Miss the enrollment window by even a few months, and you pay a permanently higher premium. That penalty never goes away. Third, if a 23% cut materializes in 2032, your most powerful lever isn't income, it's knowing exactly what you spend. Build a written monthly budget right now that separates your fixed essential costs from your flexible costs. Write it down, actual numbers. Knowing that number in advance means a benefit cut doesn't become a crisis. It becomes an adjustment you've already planned for. Now, the question everyone is thinking, will Congress actually fix this? And the honest answer is, we don't know for certain, but history says probably yes. In 1983, Social Security was weeks away from not being able to pay benefits at all. Congress acted at the last minute, adjusted the system, and bought it another 40 years. The political cost of cutting benefits to 70 million Americans is enormous, so action will almost certainly happen. But it will involve some combination of higher taxes, higher retirement ages, and reduced benefits for high earners. The question is not whether you'll be affected by some form of change. The question is whether you were ready when it happened. You now know things that most Americans, including most people planning their retirement right now, genuinely do not know. You know why the system is running out of money. You know what 2032 means in actual dollars. You know the hidden rules. And you have specific, actionable steps, by your age, that you can take this week to start protecting yourself. I want to hear from you. What's the number you've been building your retirement plan around for Social Security? Drop it in the comments and pick one thing from today's video. Just one, and do it this week. Check ssa.gov. Look at your 401k fees, run your claiming age math. Knowing this and doing nothing is the most expensive financial decision you can make. One move this week. That's all it takes to start. That's everything for today. Take one of these ideas and actually use it this week. That's where it counts. If this was worth your time, the like button is right there. And if you want to keep thinking this clearly about money, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.